Some childhood memories are filled with laughter, games, and the kind of joy that makes the past glow warmly in the mind. But occasionally, those memories can hold a shadow, a moment that chills you even years later. For me, that shadow came on a night that started as a backyard campout, but turned into something much darker. Growing up in Georgia, before we moved to Texas, my childhood was filled with the kind of freedom that only comes with a 2-acre backyard. For an 11-year-old, it was paradise. My backyard wasn't just a place to play. It was the spot for every neighborhood game, from soccer to baseball, hide and seek, and our favorite, manhunt. Surrounded by woods on 3 sides, the yard was a playground with endless possibilities. We had a trampoline, a hot tub, a detached 3-car garage, and even an above-ground pool. For a middle-class family, our backyard felt like a slice of luxury. When my friends Mike, Michael, and Jason planned a Friday night sleepover at my place, we were thrilled. It wasn't just a sleepover, it was a backyard camping adventure. Our excitement was palpable as we convinced our parents, packed up sleeping bags, and arrived at my house around 5 p.m. The evening began with us playing soccer and baseball, burning off energy until pizza arrived. By the time we'd eaten, the sky had taken on a dusky glow, and it was the perfect time to set up the tents. Being a Boy Scout, I knew my way around camping gear. My friends helped a little, but I took the lead in pitching the tents. By the time we were done, the backyard lights illuminated the scene, casting a soft glow over the open grass and the looming shadows of the woods beyond. It was finally dark enough to play our favorite game, manhunt. We split into pairs for the game. Mike and I would hide first, while Michael and Jason hunted. The rules were simple: avoid capture and make it back to the home base, the back door of the house, without being tagged. The thrill of hiding in the dark, with only the dim backyard lights and the woods as cover, was unmatched. Mike and I separated to increase our chances of making it back to base. I chose a hiding spot under the trampoline in the far corner of the yard. From my position, I could see Michael and Jason searching the yard, their movements silhouetted against the faint light. As they turned their backs to me, I made my move, sprinting toward the hot tub, which sat near the house. I ducked behind it, trying to stay as quiet as possible. That's when I heard it. A trash bin near the side of the house nearly toppled over, followed by the flicker of the motion-activated light. My heart raced as I peeked around the corner. A tall figure dressed in dark clothes was speed-walking away toward the woods. It wasn't my dad. Fear gripped me, and I abandoned the game, running to my friends to call it off. We rushed inside to tell my dad. He grabbed a flashlight and checked the woods and the street for any unusual cars or signs of someone lurking. He found nothing but insisted we sleep inside for the night. Disappointed, we retreated indoors and distracted ourselves with video games. After a few hours, our fear had faded, replaced by the stubborn determination of preteens. What are the odds he's still out there, we reasoned. Besides, the tents were already set up, and we didn't want to waste the opportunity. Quietly, so as not to wake my parents, we sneaked back outside with our sleeping bags. Mike and I shared one tent, while Michael and Jason took the other. The initial adrenaline of sneaking out gave way to laughter and jokes, which eventually subsided as we settled in for the night. Mike fell asleep quickly, but I lay awake, staring at the tent's ceiling, my thoughts drifting back to the strange figure I'd seen earlier. The faint sound of footsteps in the grass snapped me out of my thoughts. My body tensed as the noise grew closer. Before I could process what was happening, the zipper to our tent began to open. My first thought was that my dad had come to check on us, but as the face of the intruder peered into the tent, dread flooded me. It wasn't my dad. The man looked to be about my father's age, but he was a complete stranger. His face was shadowed, but his expression was tense. He began to step into the tent, and I screamed, a raw, piercing scream that tore through the quiet night. Mike woke up, startled, and joined in the screaming. The man grabbed at our ankles, hissing for us to be quiet, but we kept yelling until he gave up and fled. As soon as he left, I yelled for everyone to run inside. As we bolted for the house, my dad came rushing out of the back door, alarmed by our screams. Breathless, I told him what had happened. He didn't hesitate. Grabbing a flashlight and a bat, he stormed into the yard, yelling into the darkness and daring the intruder to show himself. My friends and I watched from the safety of the living room as my dad's voice echoed through the night. My mom called the police. When they arrived, they listened to my story and conducted a brief search of the area. They found no trace of the man, but a report was filed, and they assured us they would keep an eye on the neighborhood. Needless to say, none of us slept outside that night, or ever again in that backyard. The tent stayed up for a few days, a silent reminder of the terrifying encounter. The police never found the intruder, and we never saw him again. To this day, I don't know who he was or what he wanted. The what-ifs haunted me for years. What if we hadn't screamed? What if he had managed to pull us out of the tent? As a kid, that backyard had felt like a sanctuary, a place where nothing bad could happen. But that night shattered that illusion. It taught me a lesson about vulnerability and the thin line between safety and danger. Looking back, I realize how lucky we were. The situation could have escalated into something far worse. The man's intentions remain a mystery, but the experience left a lasting mark on me. It's a story I've carried into adulthood, one that serves as a cautionary tale for my own kids. Not all shadows from our childhood fade. Some linger, reminding us of the fragility of innocence and the importance of staying vigilant, even in the places we feel safest. I hope you like this story. Please let me know in the comments below. If you like this video, then subscribe to the channel because you will get to see similar videos on this channel. I'll see you again in a more scarier story.